Hello and welcome back to the My Journey podcast, the place where I document my freelance journey. This is once again a YouTube special, so if you're listening to this podcast over on any of the podcast platforms, make sure to head over to YouTube and search for @TheMJ and you should find my channel there. This time I'm carrying on the theme of the last episode of the My Journey podcast and covering something I said I'd talk about on the last episode, but it probably sounded like we ran out of time. We did actually record this, but it was just a bit of a ramble, so I decided to go back, take that out of last week's episode, and I said to Tom I'd cover this as a solo episode, which is what you're seeing today. So this is how to approach social media during a lockdown. It's going to be a quick episode. It's not going to be a long one. You don't have to sit around for hours on end. Please do let me know what you think about that. Do you prefer an hour-long in-depth conversation with somebody, or do you prefer these like shorter 10-15 minute snippets? Do let me know, and we'll try and shove the content the way that you guys want. So yeah, as it's a quick one this week, I'm going to do the ask up front. If you're enjoying these podcasts, if you're getting any value out of them, please do subscribe to the channel or the podcast. Leave a like if you're watching it on YouTube, and share it with a friend, family, or colleagues. Just one extra person listening. If everybody did that listen, it'd be absolutely brilliant. So please do share it with other people. So without hanging around any further, we're a minute and a half in here. I don't want to keep you forever today, as I say. So on to my top tips for dealing with social media throughout a lockdown. Now, this is based on what we've seen before and what we know is coming up over the next couple of weeks. The first thing to do is to keep people updated, even if there aren't any updates. So what I'm trying to say here is a lot is changing a lot of the time. And if we're being brutally honest, people don't care enough about your business to understand how all the different changes, the regulations, the lockdown rules, whatever it might be, affect your business specifically. They've got lots of businesses they interact with, and they probably, to be fair, some of the stuff that's coming out, they probably don't even know how it affects them as individuals, let alone how it affects you as a brand. So when you're thinking about what content to put on social media, think about, have I actually updated people on what our situation is, especially if you're a physical shop or you sell a product, or I don't know, maybe you're a service provider and you're doing things over Zoom now instead of face-to-face, all these different things. Just keep updating people. And like I say, even if there isn't an update, just share a reminder of what your current situation is, because people will come to your site, and this is the same outside of a lockdown. People will come to your page, and if they can't see the information has been updated recently, or they can't see it kind of being reinforced that the information on your social media is correct. So if your opening hours are saying 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening, then have you said that again recently? Because you might have put that out when you started your page 3 or 4 years ago, and people don't know whether or not that information is still relevant. So keep them updated, keep reminding them that that information is the most up-to-date information you have. And as quickly as you can, when you get new working circumstances or new information, share that with people. It's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to share that update and people have already heard it and think, oh, I already know that, than to not share it and people getting frustrated with your business because they're not able to interact with it in the way that they want to. So that's tip number one. Keep people updated even if there aren't any updates. Shooting straight on to tip number two. We're only a few minutes into this episode already and you're already getting loads of value in my opinion. But yes, tip number two, tell the story only you can tell. Now, I've stolen this kind of little phrase here from Harry over at Marketing Examples. I'd thoroughly recommend, if you're trying to up your marketing game, to check him out and his newsletter. There's some great stuff in there. But basically what they're trying to say here is everybody can within your industry can say similar things. So take me as a social media marketer, for example. A lot of people will say, take the hassle out of your day of dealing with social media and pass that to me. Increase your reach, increase your engagement, increase your brand, all these different things, which is all true. But what is the story that only I can tell? Not what necessarily is my USP, not necessarily what my unique selling point is, but what is the story only I can tell? Well, I'm from Hull. I started straight out of university. These are things that Yeah, other people might start out straight out of university. Yeah, other people might have be from Hull. But combining all them things together, you'll be making yourself more and more unique, and you're able to tell a story that only you can tell. And especially if you've got a product or a service that has come from a situation you found yourself in. So recently I was on a call with a group of networking people, and it was like a business solutions kind of thing. So somebody came with a problem and we all tried to solve it. And this person said he created this service, this product that he had, because he couldn't find the product out there to meet his needs. That is, only he can tell that story. The other people who he's competing with can't tell that story because they have created their system for a different reason. Their system already existed when he created his. So he can only tell that story. The other thing to think about within that is trying to be less technical. A lot of people use these key buzz phrases like innovative, like for me it would be engagement, reach, all these things. Just talk in plain language. Sometimes I think we overcomplicate things, and when you're trying to tell the story only you can tell, you need to be able to understand that story. And by saying I can increase your average engagement rate by X% through the use of it, by increasing impressions and building your brand equity and things like that, people are going to go, I don't even know what that means, Matt. So what is it you're selling? And if I can say, look, I'm going to make it so your social media looks absolute fire. We're going to be getting more messages through to your Facebook. And how am I going to do that? Well, and just taking away that technical language makes it much more relatable and makes your story easy to understand. And during the lockdown, more than ever, I think people want this outside of a lockdown, but during the lockdown more than ever, people want to be able to make a connection. And by telling the story only you can tell, you give them something to relate to, give them something to connect with. So by me saying I'm from Hull and that I started straight out of university, there might be another entrepreneur out there who has had a similar story. He's from Hull, started straight out of university. Oh my God, this guy really resonates with me. I really like his story. I want to find out more about him. And that's the way I kind of build a connection with that person. Also, by using the technical language, you're going to put up a barrier between you and the other person that means that they might not be able to understand what you're saying. So by taking that technical language away, you're removing that barrier and allows the people to make a connection with you. And as I say, I think during lockdown, more than ever before, we want to make that connection with people, a real connection with brands, businesses, individuals, freelancers, employees, whoever it might be. We want to make that connection. And this is a great thing to take forward outside of a lockdown as well, because people don't buy from businesses, they buy from people a lot of the time. And they buy from, even when they are buying from brands, whether that be a business or a personal brand, they're buying from one that they can relate to. So by creating the story and creating this connection, you're increasing your opportunity to make money further down the line. So that's tip number 2, tell the story only you can tell. Adding that to number 1, which is keep your profile updated. So finally, tip number 3 is one that I've mentioned before at the beginning of the last lockdown. And it's to be sensitive. Obviously, times are tough for everyone. Some people are doing all right. Some people are struggling more than others. And that's totally understandable. And you've got to be appreciative of that from a business point of view. Now, I'm not saying don't celebrate the good times. Do celebrate the good times. But just be careful how you do that. Don't be all rah-rah. Don't be all big, showy and kind of a bit treading on people who aren't able to do what you're doing, people who are maybe struggling more. Don't be that person, because you will lose favour with them. So what you need to do in terms of being sensitive is one of the key things I'm going to say here, and it's something I say across the board again, but specifically in this, in terms of being sensitive, is to sell less through social media. If people are struggling, the last thing they want to be told is about this amazing product that costs this amount of money, or this amazing service that costs X amount that could really help them, but they're unable to afford it, they're unable to buy it because of their current situation. So what you need to think about there is selling less and bringing value. Think of this as a long game, and I know a lot of people are struggling, so they might not be able to play such a long game, but maybe you're within the events industry, and obviously that's taken a real hit this year, and if you're still going at this point, then you're doing something right, you're doing really well, and big up to you, because it's been a tough year for the events industry. But maybe you could be talking about how the events industry has changed, how people can adapt to the events industry, what events going to look like in 2021, what are your top tips for building an event, all these different things. they're bringing value to the person at the other side of the screen. And ultimately, when it comes to a point where they are having their event, or whatever sector you're in, you know, I'm just using a specific here, but whatever sector you're in, when it comes to them needing a product within that sector, you've already built a brand, a connection with them that means that they'll want to buy from you. They'll feel like they owe you almost, because you've been so valuable to them, and you're showing that you've got knowledge and you understand, you've got expertise. So just think about that. Sell less, because one, I think it's the way to go anyway. Selling on social media is not always the way to go. It's a brand building tool, in my opinion, is social media. People don't want to open up Facebook and scroll through and just see you saying about your product and how much it costs. They want to be entertained, they want to be informed, they want to have an emotional reaction to something. So think about what you can do within them realms. But definitely now, there's going to be people out there who can't afford what you're doing and maybe struggling and coming out with a sales message all the time. You know, it can seem, and if you're struggling yourself, you just want to make sales, so you do just want to put that sales message on. But I'm not saying don't do it, just do it less often. Build that brand, try and add value to people, because then they will want to buy from you. So just to recap, 3 top tips for dealing with social media during a lockdown are to keep people updated, even if there isn't an update. Tell the story only you can tell, and be sensitive. Hopefully, within that, there's something you can take away for your business, for your marketing, and there's something that will hopefully help you get through the next few weeks. If you are really struggling with your content for social media, I'm now offering free consultations. You'll start to see this across my social media if you're someone who follows me a lot. And what these are just 30-minute calls, no obligation. And what I'll do is I'll try and answer as many of your questions as I can within that time, try and give you some pointers. And as towards the end, I will talk about how we could potentially work together and what packages I offer. But that is just right at the end, a little short bit. But for 30 minutes, you've got me, you've got the ability to ask me questions, get my insight, get my thoughts on what you're doing. It might be that you're trying something, or you've got an idea and you just want to hear some feedback on that. Please do take me up on that. If you want to have a free consultation, have a 30-minute chat with me over the phone or Zoom or whatever platform you want to use, drop me a message at the MJ Social on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, or find me on LinkedIn, Matthew Johnson, Matt Johnson, or you can find my business page at the MJ Social. Please do get in touch, and I can't wait to hear from you and start working with you on answering your questions and trying to help you improve your social media. But yeah, that's everything for today. So until next time, thanks for watching.